Hi, I'm Russ Heaps, and today I'm in Northwestern Montana. I'm at Flathead Lake. I'm here with some fraternity brothers, and we're just sort of doing our thing. I've assembled this elite crack panel of tasters. These are guys that we've known each other for, geez, I don't know, 46, 47 years, something in that neighborhood. This is Bruce, Rick, Randy. We are from all over. Randy's from the Dayton, Ohio area. Rick is here local. He's a local boy, and if I knew exactly where he lived, I would tell you, but this place seems to have about 6 different names. It's Flathead Lake, it's Mission Bay, it's Woods Bay, what I don't know. I can't, I'm just one person, I can't keep track of all this stuff. And Bruce is from Santa Barbara, but we all went to school together at Wittenberg University in Springfield, Ohio, the little Harvard of the Midwest. And we were all, in the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity, we're all Fijis together. So anyway, in this segment of Beer to Whiskey, we're just going to talk about this wonderful fifth of Garrison Brothers Texas whiskey. We've got a little thunder going on, if you can hear that in the background. That's what that is, and hopefully we won't get struck dead while we're doing this. We almost lost one yesterday in the lake, and that's as close as we want to get. So anyway, Garrison Brothers Texas whiskey. This is something that I like a lot, but it's a little different. And first of all, what really attracted me to it the first time was the bottle. And I like Texas. I lived there for a while, but it's got the Lone Star right on the bottle. If we hadn't been working on this for a couple of days, it'd be a full bottle. But it's got the Lone Star on the bottle. It's got the Lone Star on the top of the cap. They do this wonderful wax thing. The only way they get away with that without infringing on Maker's Mark is that they square it off. It doesn't run down the bottle. And obviously it's black and not red. They pretty much tell their story right on the bottle. And they will tell you that the corn variety is Panhandle White. The corn harvest was in 2011. It's from farms in I think it's Talum County, distilled and bottled in 2012, and release date was 2015, and it's bottle 15,345. Age 3 years in the barrel. So has everybody had now that we're kind of through the foreplay.
Oh, we can drink now?
Yeah, we can. So what's going on here is you get a little bit of wood, you get some caramel, there's some coconut there. That's sort of it. Let's see what else. What else I wrote down.
I got mostly wood on that one. I didn't get the caramel.
A little bite and then it smooths out.
Yeah, and it's and there's supposedly I have to tell you that normally I have an expert with me on these things, but we are all equally sort of novices at this. We know what we like. We drink a lot of it, but we really don't know that much about any specific one. But it's supposed to have some butterscotch in it as well. I don't get any butterscotch particularly, but
hang on, we'll search for the butterscotch in here. If you smell it, you can smell a little butterscotch. I can't taste any butterscotch, but if you smell it, that's what they always say about wine. Stick your nose in the back of the glass and see if you can smell it.
Second sip, you can pick it up. It's interesting. In the first, you don't get it, but you know.
It definitely has a unique nose, I will say that. It's a nose that I haven't smelled on another type of bourbon before.
Well, you weren't, the first time you had it the other night, Porch, you weren't overwhelmed with it. Are you feeling any better about it, or?
The second time around, it's as Grobo says, it's growing on me. I won't put the qualifier in there. What do you? That's an inside story, by the way, if you don't know who we're talking about.
But it's also the first one we've tasted tonight.
Right.
So it's not like we've had 3 or 4 and we're trying to compare it and it's good or bad. So
I can't.
I like it a lot better tonight than I did the prior night.
Yeah, I would second that.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting that it's made in Texas because we think of bourbon being Kentucky. We're all Midwesterners and got accustomed to it that way. But now you have some really pretty good distilleries around the country. There's one in Park City now that's making making good.
High
West.
High West.
Yeah. High West in Park City makes a really good rye. This is good coming from Texas. You have, of course, the bourbon trails in Kentucky, and lots of good things in Kentucky.
I agree, having lived in Kentucky. Everybody drink.
It's a tough job.
So, who has a Devon story? Let's tell a Devon story. Anybody have a Devon story? Devon is another one of our fraternity brothers who happens to be on this trip with us. He's just not on the panel. But
Well, there are lots of Devon stories, but probably our favorite is back in our college days when we had a wrestling match among the fraternities. Devon was the kind of guy who came across as maybe a little bit geeky. On the contrary, if you ever needed a backup, Devon was the guy you wanted to take with you.
But you would never know it by looking at him.
So
If you're going to jump in a foxhole, you want Devon as your foxhole mate.
Yeah, exactly. And so, as the story goes, and some of you guys I think were there, he ended up wrestling over junior and senior year a couple big guys from the football team who thought
in the intramural sports arena,
Right.
and thought they were pretty tough. And Devon's out there in sweatpants doing jumping jacks and being scoffed at by the crowd. But then the wrestling match started, and as things continued on, Devon ended up punishing some of these people. They learned what a figure 4 was. And after toying with them for an indeterminate period of time, he finally pinned them and put them out of their misery. But that's still of legend, you might say, these days. And every time we get together, we talk about it.
I think my favorite story is we had our senior year. Several of us lived in basically what was the attic of the fraternity house. So we had an area that was off the main living area, but it was where the roof kind of gabled out, and you would go through these doors and you went into a little room you had to kind of crouch over, but on this wall was a door and on this wall was a door, and you went back through these doors and there was just enough room in these places to throw a mattress and go to sleep. That was it. This side, low ceilings. And a bat got up into the 3rd floor one night and was flying around and somehow got through the doors and flew back into what at the time I think the one on the right was the art appreciation room, or was that the music? I don't remember. One room we called the art appreciation room, one was the music appreciation room. But anyway, it was the one on the right. The bat flew through there and was back in that little area. And so Devon volunteered to go in and get it. So he got a tennis racket. There was an old army helmet or something he put on his head. And he was getting ready to walk back in there, and he turned off the light. And we're like, oh, why did you turn off the light, Devon? And he said, I wanted to make it even for the bat. And he went back in there, and the bat lasted, I'm thinking, about 30 seconds maybe, and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
So,
Bat guano on the tennis racket.
yes, and who knows what else. So, anybody else have another thought on this? On the Bourbon?
No, but I can smell the caramel. The less bourbon in the glass, the more caramel you can smell. So
Try a little ice to see if that changes the...
It could.
Try the same thing.
You don't have to touch them all, Ports.
Actually, it softens it a bit.
There's a lot of discussion, and I've got a buddy back in Greenville who swears up and down the only way to taste bourbon is to put a drop or two of water in it, and he's not alone in that. So it's supposed to somehow do something about enhancing the flavor.
Well, they say it opens up the bouquet of the bourbon. I've heard that as well. But while we're talking about water, just throwing out a question, what is branch water? Because I've heard people like Lyndon Johnson used to drink bourbon and branch water. Does anyone know what branch water is?
I think it's just water.
it's not distilled water, right?
I don't know.
No, that was-
I've heard bourbon and branch water, and I've often wondered what it is, and now that we're having this discussion, I thought I would throw
Is
it out.
it carbonated water?
I don't
No,
know.
no,
I
no,
know.
no,
I
no,
don't know. It's
no.
not carbonated, but I thought maybe it's some kind of a special water. And I
Well,
don't know.
we will assign someone the task to look that up.
Research.
Research. So that'll be it for this episode. I want to thank my esteemed panel for joining me in this, and we will catch you in the next segment of Beer to Whiskey. Cheers.
Here's to Miss Lily.